Making an impact on more than just athletics, how the Tbk Sports Complex is making its mark on the local economy as well.
And plus, drivers aren't the only ones dealing with the I-74 bridge construction. What changes you can expect during the Quad Cities Marathon?
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning, everybody, on this Friday morning. I'm Redrick Terry.
And I'm Alexandria Ikomoni. Thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. Let's get started with your local news, beginning with our top story. It's only been a little more than a year since the Tbk Sports Complex opened in Bettendorf, and it's having a huge impact on the community.
Thousands of games have translated into millions of dollars for the Quad Cities. Employees at the 77-acre facility say they're years ahead of schedule in terms of growth. They say its location off of I-80 plays a big part, and it's space that can be used year-round. Local 4's Faire reports it generated more investment quickly.
We've had probably close to 3,000 baseball games just within our first year.
The Tbk Sports Complex is just over a year old, but you might not be able to tell by the numbers.
We're probably 5 to 7 years ahead of growth where we should be.
More than 10,000 tournament games, more than 1,600 fitness members, and tens of thousands of visitors.
And out of state, within the community, within the 2 states that make the Quad Cities, as well as even further out.
Not only has the Tbk Sports Complex grown by volumes, but so has the area surrounding it, bringing in more than $30 million in construction over the last year alone.
It's really extraordinary.
Paul Rumler is the president of the Quad Cities Chamber of Commerce. He says this building has turned into a best-case scenario for the city of Bettendorf.
We've been missing out on this piece of the tourism and sports opportunities that other communities have capitalized on.
Now they've brought in more than $13 million in tourism to the Quad Cities area.
You can characterize the Tbk Sports Complex as a catalytic project. It's one of those transformational deals that it will attract investment because of the high traffic that is happening within that.
It's why Jake Eikenberry opened up here a month ago.
I was absolutely surprised, especially when we had lines out the door. It's like, where do they come from? I mean, we're right here on the outskirts.
Rumler says it's not slowing down anytime soon.
You see construction equipment, you see flags in the ground and dirt moving. So we know that in the next year there's going to be a lot more happening in the area.
Tahira Rahman, Local 4 News.
Well, if you're still dealing with the effects of the flood, more help could be coming your way. President Trump just declared 27 Illinois counties as disaster areas. That includes Rock Island, Bureau, Carroll, Knox, Mercer, and Whiteside counties. Federal funding will be available to state and local governments to help you get back on your feet.
At 6:04, Clinton police issue an arrest warrant in a deadly hit and run. Police say they're looking for 28-year-old Eddie Kraut Jr. Police arrested the owner of the car they say was involved. That crime killed Emiliano Barrios on August 30th. They picked up 34-year-old Samantha Jo Spadero on charges that she gave false statements to investigators.
Right now, a construction worker is in the hospital after falling off of a bridge in Maquoketa yesterday. It took the worker to Mercy Medical Center. Investigators say the worker fell about 18 feet and was found under the bridge near Prairie Creek. We don't know the person's condition at this time.
Latrice Lacey's retrial on assault and harassment charges is underway, and yesterday her boyfriend took the stand. The Davenport Civil Rights Commission director is accused of hitting her ex-boyfriend with a sledgehammer in April of 2018. Her first trial ended when a judge declared a mistrial in March. Lacey's boyfriend Charlie Davis testified that last January, Lacey's ex-boyfriend Clyde Richardson choked her and damaged his car. But prosecutors got Davis to admit that he was asleep at the time. That trial continues today and is expected to last a few more days. Almost 6:06, this weekend's Quad Cities Marathon will not follow the same route as last. There's a bit of a change in Bettendorf. That's because of the new I-74 bridge construction. Runners used the westbound bridge into Iowa in the past, and this year they'll cross on the Illinois-bound bridge. Bettendorf police wants runners and drivers to be aware of that change.
Biggest concern is educating the motorists and people that are trying to get places that morning that the route has changed this year, and there's going to be some more significant longer tie-ups in downtown Bettendorf.
If you haven't signed up for the race yet but want to, you can sign up Saturday from 9 to 5 at the Taxilator Center. The marathon kicks off Sunday at 7 a.m. And we've also provided the complete route online at ourquadcities.com. The Greater Quad Cities Renaissance Fair is back for its 4th season this weekend.
I'm excited. Fencing battle, sword fights, and turkey legs will help give you the true medieval experience. Local 4's Andrea Medina joined us live from Credit Island in Davenport. Good morning, Andrea. What can people expect if they're going to this event?
Good morning, guys. They'll step back in time in a magical world where fairies and knights and, well, of course, dragons will play. And joining me now is Mike. He is the festival producer. So if I want to get into the spirit of this whole Renaissance thing, should I say good moral to you?
Yeah, good moral.
Perfect. All right, so let's kind of talk about just the history behind the Greater Quad Cities Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, so this is our 4th year here at the Greater Quad Cities Renaissance Festival. And this is our 2nd year down here at Credit Island, and we're excited that we can be back down here on Credit Island after all the situation with the flooding and everything that's been going on. So
yeah, and so I mean that's actually the next question I was going to ask you. I mean, you guys almost didn't have this venue, so talk to me about that and what you guys were looking into, especially if you guys weren't allowed to be out here.
Yes, now we were looking into other parks to actually have it, but this location is actually ideal for what we like down here because this is, again, kind of a nice big area there where we can have parking and everybody else and have room to have like a joust. I know that the one park that we were looking at as a backup wasn't big enough to have the joust because this is obviously one of the exciting things, or one of our return of the joust this year for the fair. So we wanted to make sure we could have everything that we wanted to have this year. And luckily, the city was fantastic. They had over 75 volunteers out here yesterday helping clean up the island still. I mean, it was, when I say that we were working, they were working yesterday till the last day word to help get it together. So I want to thank all of those people that were out here volunteering, helping that out to make it happen.
Yeah, so what are people going to be able to experience at the fair? Anything new?
Yes, well, the joust is what's nice. We did not have the joust for the last few years, so the joust will be brand new this year, which is awesome. They'll have 3 shows a day. And then you cannot forget the Highland Games, so if you want to come see the big guys throw the caber toss and all that, that's obviously something that will be exciting to have out here too. We actually do have also a national sword swallower. He's going to be here, there's not very many of them. There's there's usually like 100 of them so that's interesting. It's one of those things that's kind of like you like to watch it, but you don't want to look away, but it is really awesome. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And coming up in the next 30 minutes, we're going to introduce you to an ordinary yet not so ordinary man who will hiss at you, especially if he finds out that you're not stopping by at the fair for a grand old time. Anchor Alexandria, back to you guys.
All right, I'm a little scared now.
Yes.
Andrea, thank you.
I am, and I thought she was going to put on a costume here. I'm waiting for her to, change into the medieval times era vibes.
Some garb, some good costume. You know what? The morning's young. Maybe she's got it ready for 6:30. Hopefully, we'll check in with her.
Oh, yeah. Sword swallower.
Always freaks me out. I'm not going to lie. Every time I see that, Ash, just the fact that somebody can put a gigantic sword all the way down. You're just like,
yeah.
You know?
That and the fire breather.
Oh my gosh. Talent.
Serious talent now.
I always love these things are associated with the Renaissance Fair because back in the day, if somebody did that, they probably would have been actually burned at the stake. So I don't know. Anyway, a lot of fun either way here today. We do have a lot of cloud cover outside. Thanks to a few storms this morning, but temperature-wise, it's warm and it is muggy. 71 currently, dew points in the upper 60s. A lot of heat, a lot of humidity out there. We're going to continue to see that because winds coming up out of the southeast, just fueling all of that. We've got a little dry line cutting through the area this morning, firing up a few of these storms. You see they sparked up, they got really big, and towards the tail end of this, you can see them dissipating. So we'll see that stick around for another hour or two, but likely not going to stick around for too much longer. The temperatures, it will warm quickly, back up to the mid and upper 80s here today. 87 the high temperature, feeling like the 90s. A crispy, crispy Friday. We're looking at a hot one, and tonight we'll be back down all the way to the 70s. So just get ready for another hot day ahead of us.
Oh.
All the way down.
All the way to the 70s.
A low of the 70s. That's never fun to see.
Not good.
Fall is next Monday, so we are really at the end of summer.
Is it? Next Monday, huh? We got to get out of here.
All right, coming up, the weekend means New Movie Friday.
Which ones you need to know about what's hitting theaters today? That's next with Movie Mike.
Time now 6:11. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.